All right, I'm here. All right, so how is everybody doing today, huh? Oh, that camera angle is way too. I was actually in the middle of talking with Kyle a little bit. Yeah. All right. How is everybody doing? Is everybody ready for hockey already? This is freaking ridiculous. Colin Brown's going to play tomorrow. Oh, good. Your Luongo short came in. Good. Simon. Yeah, Kyle is late. I had to wake Kyle up, but that's okay. He was up late last night. So it's all good. How you doing, 305? Dawes. That's my new nickname. As Jaws with good D. Greg says urinating tree video was good. Yeah, I watched it. He did a good job. So Simon, fishing and the gym is tomorrow. I might go this afternoon. We'll see. I might do it this afternoon so the members can watch out for a podcast that might come. In fact, what's the tides today? Because let's see what time the tides are. Because it's best if I go out there. Let's see. High tide. High tide's 246. That's possible. It's possible. For sure. It could happen. We're finally Simon, we finally have good weather, man. We finally have good weather. It's going to be 80 degrees today. So I was actually mowing some grass a little bit earlier. Can never get this hat straight. So, hey, Ryan, Oilers in 6. Nah. Panthers in 6. I think Panthers in 6. Silva says, I was about to drive to the beach for the first time since last January. Then it started raining. Not even the weather wants a Florida native to go to the beach. You'll get there. There's plenty of summer coming, right? Of course, that's when the rain comes. Hey, Colby, how you doing, bud? Panthers in 6 ballsy. Yep, I know it. Well, that's what came up when I did the video. That's what came up. I'm going to turn the air conditioning on. It's too warm in here. Hold on a second. Oh, no problems right now, Simon, with the internet, but they haven't fixed my neighbor stuff yet. So still dealing with that from time to time. Yeah, low quality went really bold with Cats in 5. I know, right? Wow. I think he might be trying to reverse jinx us a little bit there. I don't know. I know Tree picked Edmonton, which good. That works. I didn't want Tree's pick anyway. Gotcha, Silva. Gotcha. Coot says, fun fact, the last time for each major North American sports league had a championship rematch in consecutive years was Super Bowls 27-28 when the Cowboys beat the Bills in Buffalo's last visits. Oof. That was a long lifetime ago, right? Ryan says Edmonton defeated the Islanders in 5 when they got swept, after they got swept by the Islanders. So Oilers got revenge in 84 and Pittsburgh got revenge in 2009. So history will repeat itself. Well, history could also repeat itself with the Panthers winning. Again, that could happen too. Jameson says, as we get closer to puck drop, I feel better and better about our group repeating. I think the Hyman injury will be too much for Edmonton to overcome. Oilers will run out of time line juggling. It will be interesting to see if they put Perry in that spot, which I guess that's the assumption that they're going to do. It'll be interesting to see what the Panthers do to match home and away, right? So you would think that the Panthers would not want the second line up against McDavid and Perry, because unless you're going to have Bennett on Perry, I don't know about Verhaeghe and Chuck on him, because Chuck's not 100%, obviously. But if you wanted to put Luosterainen on him, that might fit the bill. The Atlantic Division has 8 finalists in the last 7 years. Yeah, good point. Jameson says Cats in 5. Yeah, Skinner's been good for too long. You're kind of waiting for that reversion to the mean, right? But you never know when it's going to happen. If it happens at the back end of the series, I'd prefer that. You know, win a split in Edmonton and then let Skinner kind of get a little queasy. He didn't get queasy in Game 7 last year, so some guys just elevate their level of play in the postseason, you know? Amanda says Ryan's going to run out of his predictions soon enough. That's true. Yeah, Cleveland versus Golden State in the NBA. Dang. RC says, if you listen to the media, it's an Oilers lock because of McDavid and the history of Gretzky, Crosby. I think the Oilers will come out on fire, but Cats win game 1 6-4. If the Panthers win games where they're giving up more than 3 goals, that could be a short series. And, you know, I mean, Dallas just doesn't have – I know Dallas is balanced. I know they're balanced, but they just don't have the firepower, in my opinion, especially on the third line, that Florida does. Silva says, this is something special happening right here. This hasn't happened in hockey since Pittsburgh and Detroit. But I think Edmonton wins this one. I want a good series, at least 6 games, and I want overtime. Only overtime games are allowed if the Panthers are going to win those games. Can you imagine a Game 7 overtime? I mean, we almost got one last year. Wow, MLB was way back in 77 and 78. Holy crap. Dylan says the final day of no stress. That's true. That is true. Even the waiting is getting a little stressful, right? Green Lugie says the lads both know what they want, most of what to expect, and are going to be dialed in. Yeah, that's the biggest question for me, Green, is what they're going to do against our third line. And if they're going to put Lundell up against McDavid and company, then who's going to try to be the one stopping Barkov and Reinhart? So, Simon, I haven't looked at the bracket because I can't win. I think right now it's still – I think True is going to win it. Hey, Chris, the next 4 wins will not come easy. No, that's true. 305 says, this won't go 7, but I feel like this year is going to be more intense. That could happen. Craig says, big body on Perry in the crease. I'd expect Mikkola battling there. Yeah, definitely. Hopefully Mikkola's shoulder is in good enough shape, right? Hey, thank you, Dietrich. Appreciate that, bud. It's taken me a while to find something that I felt was appropriate for the background music. So that one will probably stick around a little bit. Dietrich says the Oilers coach called us the Bills before the finals started last year. Let's hope for some karma and they lose twice in a row. Chunky, yeah, I know the Kings ran Skinner out of town, and then I know he's Jekyll and Hyde, but when he's good, he's really good. But one of the things that couldn't be a difference between what Florida would do and what Dallas did is Dallas got a fair amount of shots from time to time, but it was all one and done. They didn't really battle all that hard to try to get on the rebounds and retain possession in the offensive zone. And so I'm not so sure Edmonton's going to have the same type of luck that way. Florida's going to be aggressive, wanting to keep possession once they get it. I think you'll see a little bit more pressure put on Skinner. Dallas did not have a whole ton of lengthy periods of time where Dallas was really bringing it. Sylvia, you think waiting this long is a disadvantage for us? I don't know. At least we have to travel. That keeps their mind a little bit more engaged. RC says, notice how no one brings up that the Cats are 2-0 versus the Oilers in the regular season, and the Cats got better with Marchand and Jones while the Oilers didn't. Well, I mean, I generally try to not put too much into the regular season, but it didn't go the way I thought it would have gone. Usually, like when we lost to Vegas, right? Then the next year, we were all ginned up to beat Vegas in the regular season. So I was kind of surprised that Edmonton didn't do that with us. But a 2-game sample size, to quote Pete DeBoer, that's not enough. Chris says, I already can't eat from the nerves, right? Hey, Gray White, how you doing, bud? He says, did the Panthers ever go to the playoffs with Luongo? I don't think he did. If so, what year? Yeah, the Islanders series. The Islanders series that we lost before they traded Gabranson. Before they traded Gabranson and Kulikov. That was Luongo, right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong there, but I feel like that was Luongo, right? Ryan. Yeah, the 15-16 year, the Trocheck trip year, yeah. Hey, Molly. Yeah, you already have nervous stomach. Yeah, but belief in our Cats. Right? Was that Luongo? 58. The New Jersey one, that wasn't Luongo. I think that was Theodore. Against New Jersey. I don't think it was Luongo. Thank you, Molly. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's about 4 hours worth of work. Those things take a while. I don't know how guys pump them out every single day, but I guess if you're not live streaming all the time, putting those out every day makes a little bit more sense now that I'm thinking about it. Green says teams turn switches from the playoff start. As far as regular season, 22-23 Bruins are a fine example. Yeah. Hey, Dana. Yeah, with peak Yager, man. 305, what went wrong in the Islanders series? Barkov just wasn't quite ready. He was not the dominating force that he is today. And Tavares had himself a fine old time in that series. Not that was the only thing, but Barkov was still figuring things out. And Trocheck got tripped. Jameson, yeah, Theodore between the pipes. That's what I thought. Yeah, it was Theodore against New Jersey. We used to call him Jose 3 or more. It wasn't mine. It wasn't. That's not mine. Danny says, I just went down to the Ice Specs for some shopping. Place was pretty empty, low vibe right now. Really wish I could have afforded the Edmonton trip. Yeah. I mean, let's face it. I think the fans were probably going to save their wallet for if we win the cup again, right? You know, that would be my guess. Hungry. I use Power Director. 58. Yeah, so it was 12 against the Devils. And then I forget what year it was that we got Luongo back. I think there was a year there where we had, was that the Tim Thomas year in between Theodore and Luongo? Tim Thomas, Florida Panthers. I think that was the Tim Thomas year. Let's see. Yeah. So in 11-12, that was the Luongo, or that was the Theodore year. And then the following season, we had Tim Thomas. He went 16-20 with a 2.87 and a 9.09, which ain't the end of the world, but yeah. And then I think we got Luongo after that. I don't think Markstrom was never our full starter. I don't think. Jacob Markstrom. I think at worst he was our backup. Let me see. Yeah, the most he ever played for us was the year was the 12-13 year. He started 23 games. He was 8-14 with a 3.22 and a 9.01. So he was still the backup that year. He didn't play as many games. He played 0, 6, 23, and then 9, and then that's when we moved him to get Luongo back in 13-14. Yeah, and he still took a few years to get good with Vancouver. Is Corey Stillman still part of the staff? I don't know. He could bang the drum. Glenn, the Panthers movie casting. Yeah, Bruno's played by Adam Sandler, passed out in the golf course when he's awakened by Matt Remp. I like it. Yeah, we need a Sandler cameo for passed out in the golf court. Poor Bruno. Poor dude. That's okay. So I mean, we've had. Oh, which by the way, did you guys catch what I said? I didn't even realize this. I was researching the Bobrovsky trade from the Flyers to Columbus. And what I didn't know was that so Columbus gave up a 2 and 2 4s. And with the 2 that the Flyers got, they drafted Stolars. So last year when we won the cup, the Flyers actually had Bobrovsky and Stolars, and slip sliding away, just let them go completely. I mean, they gave up Bobrovsky for a 2 and a couple of 4s. Ouch, man. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. But I wonder if Flyer fans recognized that last year. I'm sure some of them did. You know, that they could have had, well, they wouldn't have had both, but Just crazy how trade trees will work, and one guy will work himself all the way back around to ending up where they're both in the freaking finals at the same time with the same team. Holy crap! Oh my God, Great White. Thank you, brother. Holy moly. Jeez. Great White. Damn, brother. He says, let's go Panthers. Let's go Bubba. Let's go Jaws. Thank you, man. Holy crap. I'm awake now. Thank you, my friend. Let's go. I really appreciate that, man. That's a lot. That's a lot of blizzards. Thank you, man. Holy shit. That's, whoo. If that didn't wake up Kyle, nothing will, right? He's awake. Thank you, man. Damn. I just leave the hat off the rest of the damn stream. Holy crap. Thank you, brother. Dana says Okposo needs to bang the drum. I would like that. I would like to see that. Yeah, I mean, because there's only so many guys there's only so many options from last year's team, right? Okposo being the main one. Everybody else has got a team. I know somebody said Nick Cousins is an unrestricted free agent, but I guess technically at this point in the time, those teams still have controlling rights, right? You know, you couldn't trade anybody right now. Green says, I just punched a hole in the wall because of Great White. Let's go. Thank you, brother. Holy crap. Chris Wilson says, no more Dolphins players banging the drums. We lose every time. Yeah, no more. Hopefully the Panthers have got that through their thick skull, right? Hopefully they have that through their thick skull. No more Dolphins, right? Let's just stick to hockey, people. And don't put, Jack Nicklaus out there. Don't put some 85-year-old golfer out there either, right? Let's stick to hockey a little bit. Hey, Occams, how you doing, bud? Yeah, definitely no, and no Dolphins coaches. Just nobody associated with the team at all. Right? It's nothing. Real says we won with McDaniel. Oh, we did? Yeah. I don't want to chance it again. Game 7 was Luongo. That's honestly, it should just be Luongo, Billy Lindsay. Let's get one more. And Jovanovski. It should just be Luongo, Billy, and Jovanovski. Hold on a second. Hey, KQ. Coot says Jaws can be Jovo, Luongo, Beezer, Billy, Lindsay, Jokinen, Mellenby, and maybe even Zito. Only Panthers greats should bang the drums in the playoffs. 100% agree. Absolutely a 1,000,000% agree. Luongo did it right. Luongo actually just absolutely got everybody all riled up. You know Billy would do the same. Probably Jovanovski. Jovanovski would just like run into the damn thing and smash it to a billion bits, right? Occam says, I want to see Barkov or Bobrovsky take the drumsticks from some whatever schlub is supposed to and bang the drum himself like Napoleon taking the crowd. Right? Now, Chucky would do that. That sounds like something Chucky would do. Yeah, no Ariana Grande. No. Svela, that's a good name. That's a good name, Cade. Yeah. What'd Ryan say? That's so funny, Dana? Ryan. Oh, that's okay. Tim Thomas to band the drum. Probably not. You could always get Yager, right? You can always get Yager. I mean, why not? Craig says, I vote for Scott Mellenby. That would be a good one, too. Any of the guys from that team, right? What about Stu Barnes? We should make do. We should make right on that stinking trade and get Stu Barnes to bang the drum. Hornquist, that's a good one, I see. Yeah. Yeah. Simon, I don't know how they decide to get someone to bang the drum. I'm going to assume there's a woman named Addie that kind of is in charge of those sorts of things. I've emailed her a couple of times. I don't get a response. I stopped trying. If somebody don't respond, I just let it go. Hey, Ted says Panthers in 4. Wow, Ted. Woo! Man, I'm not going to even say that. I don't even know if I would want us to get up 3-0 again. Like, I don't even know. Like win game 1, lose game 2, and then win 3, 4, and 5. Like, that's crazy to think that it would happen that way. But even if we were going to win in 5, I wouldn't want to be up 3-0. I don't want to deal with that stress again. PK Subban. Great White says, my girlfriend loves Joe Joss. How do I get her to love me? You got to be 6 foot something with a baby face, apparently. I think that's the secret, Great White. 6 foot something with a baby face that looks like he's still 19 half the time. A little chubby cheeks. You got chubby cheeks, Great White? Ryan. Do I think McDaniel's gone this season? I don't know, man. I don't know the Ross would have the cojones to fire him in the middle of the year unless it's really bad. Jake, that's a good name. Rob Niedermeyer, give him a chance to get booed one last time. Oh, Niedermeyer was one of those guys where you wanted him to be tough. He was this big, thick kid, and you knew he was strong as hell, but he just played so soft half the time. It was frustrating. It was very frustrating because he had talent. I don't know if he ever harnessed the full capacity of his talent to his maximum ability. Ted, right? Kate says, win the first 2, lose 1 at home, and then we'll take it at 5 on the road. I'll do that. Paul Loss, yeah. Yeah, he can beat the drum like he beats other dudes on the ice, right? Ted, I know. They can't. I don't even know if I want 3-0. Hey, killer. Real says, what if we lose the first 3 and then win the next 4? Oh, my God. I don't know that the country of Canada could survive that, Real. I don't know if Canadian fans as a collective could actually survive that. Because can you imagine the amount of smack talk that they'd be throwing our way if Edmonton was up 3-0? That seems inhumane. Okay, have I run into the NHL playoffs were scripted? No, I haven't seen them, Hungry. Coot says, now that I think of it, Jaws, we need to have Mellon be the creator of the rat trick and the reason for the tradition to bang the drum, especially with this team that embraced the rats. It's not a bad one. Oh, Joe Newendike. Jeez. God. Yeah. Boy, we used to be a retirement home, right? Waiting all day for Wednesday night. Jake, yeah, his brother lived up to his potential. It's a shame he didn't. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I wouldn't say that Niedermeyer reminds me of Eichenberg. Niedermeyer was better than that. But just how we kept wanting him to just get better for so long, and it just didn't happen. But yeah, his brother had a long, long career. Boulevard says, well, guys, I might be done in Arizona. I've been given a scholarship to be an equipment manager in Missouri. Think I need to take the chances. Life has sucked, and I hope this goes well. Hey, man, congratulations, man. Congratulations. If life takes you someplace and you think that's the best move, go ahead and go for it, man. That's the way it works. You never know what's coming for you. And my head is always crooked. Green says, I don't think my heart can watch going up 3 and then take no. Yeah, exactly. Not even the one loss. Right. Scrolling down to the bottom. Thank you, Killer. Thank you, bud. Thank you, buddy. He says, Cats in, you know what? Just win. That's all. Yeah, exactly. I'll take it. I don't care if it's the 5th overtime of Game 7. As long as the puck's in the back of the net and we're the ones celebrating afterwards. That's all that matters. Hungry says, saw a picture of Nathan Horton this week. Dude looks like a cast member of the Jersey Shore. Man, Peter Worrell, that's another good name, Craig. Lil J says, my prediction, Edmonton wins game 1 convincingly. We fight back in 2 and 3, but get cocky in 4 and 5. Goes their way. We win 6 at home, go to Edmonton for 7, where Swaggy ends it in overtime. All right. I'll take that script. I'll take any script that has us running around with the cup again. That's the script I want. Oh, Bertuzzi. Yeah, Jake, that's the name I was thinking. Who was it that when we traded was that when we got rid of Bure? Or is that that was the original Luongo trade, right? Bertuzzi was the original Luongo deal, right? And then he played like 5 minutes and got hurt. Hold on, I'm scrolling back down here. Shafasi, do I give us any chance in game 1? Sure. Why not? You don't know which Jeff Skinner. You don't know which Stuart Skinner you're getting. That's the thing. You don't know which Skinner you're getting. And if they get anything but elite Skinner, I think we could take game 1. Molly says, my 7-year-old grandson won a Panther golden ticket and gets to sit with Doug Plagans in the radio booth during a game next season. Oh, man, that's so sweet. That's awesome. Wow. Are you going to get – I guess they're going to have an adult there with them, so are you going to get to be the adult? Or is it just, screw you, Mom, it's just me and the kid? Brian says Edmonton is the favorite to win the series, including the Vegas and NHL Network. And that, honestly, that makes sense. Big Pete is practically right around the corner. Yeah. Still got his stick right there. Right there. Boulevard, man, I don't know if I could take that. Yeah, he could drive right over. Yeah, Bertuzzi was he hurt his back or something, right? I think he ended up hurting his back. Needed surgery. Molly says Barkov deserves a ring he can keep for himself, right? Lil J says, what about if Picard plays well? Well, I would assume that Picard wouldn't get in until Skinner would have lost them 2 games, right? That would be my assumption. So if you get to Picard, somewhere the Panthers have won a couple of games, and I don't think that they would make that switch unless it was like Edmonton won game 1 and then Skinner sucked in game 2 and game 3. Maybe you try to put Picard in and get the series even in game 4. Okay, he says, I mean, they did look dominant against teams that didn't try, so there's that. Molly, no, it's an ongoing conversation between mom and dad. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, Colin, yeah, it sounds about right for Picard. Is it Picard, like a birthday card, or Pickard? Is it? I've heard it both ways. Is it like birthday card or Erd? Like my stomach hurts and I got GERD. That's awesome, though, that he gets to sit. Like Star Trek? Okay, Picard. Gotcha. That makes sense. That's better anyway. That was a good show. That was one of the rare spinoffs of any television show that could compare with the original Star Trek Next Generation. That was one of the rare times they did something on TV that took off of another program where it actually did, and it actually was well done for a while anyway. Every day, 6 o'clock it was on? 6:30. It was Star Trek, and then MASH was still on, in syndication. There was a bunch of shows. Matthew wants to know if I'm excited for the game. Well, I'm ready for the game to start. You know what I mean? I'm ready for the game to start. I've been watching a lot because you guys know I didn't watch a lot of the post of the celebrations and stuff last year because with Fluffy. So I'm just now, like I just yesterday started watching the primetime stuff. And I mean it's really good. It's really good. It's really, but I just am now getting around to watching it with these few days off. Sequest, Magnum PI, yeah. You like Star Trek Enterprise? Yeah, Enterprise was okay. Simon says, hey, Jaws, to do that job, it seems like the Panthers to bang a drum would be like a retired players. Are they bringing in some special ones for the Panthers? That's what we're hoping. Right? I mean, we're guaranteed 2 games at home. Do you save Luongo for a possible elimination game? Right? Can Billy bang the drum and to get upstairs in time to start broadcasting the game? Because I would just go Billy and then Luongo. Right? I just hope they do it right this year. No Jack Nicholson. God. Oh, I keep saying Nicholson, but it's Jack Nicholas. Felt bad for the guy, man. Oh, yeah, Matthew. Yeah, Lobo. What was my favorite show, Great White? I haven't watched. I mean, we talked about it. I haven't watched television where I actually sat down to watch a show. I haven't watched television since Ally McBeal. That's how long it's been since I actually watched television at all. I watched some sports and I watched a movie here or there. But in terms of watching programming, Ally McBeal, that's all, however many years ago that was. I haven't watched the show since then. Oh, the A-Team, yeah. Molly, we're aging ourselves old as dirt. Yep. No doubt, man. Jake, yeah, no Dolphins players, period. Exactly. Molly says, if we win the cup, will Colin and I come for the parade? I know last year's was a monsoon party. I just don't know we'd have the money to do that. I don't know that. You're talking about $600 for the flight. You know, you're talking about even with travel and everything, it probably cost them about $1,500 I just don't see it in the budget right now, unfortunately. We're trying to come down for January. We're trying to come down next year and stay the month of January. Fingers crossed. Your local Panthers fan says, I'm going to a game 2 watch party. Hopefully I don't have bad luck from last year when I went to the game 4 watch party. Yikes. Boy. Sad, yeah, you don't have TV. You go to a sports bar, watch the games. TV is a distraction, right? Yeah, the old sitcoms. It's funny, but those are the old ones for you guys. For me, my old sitcoms, Laverne and Shirley, Happy Days, the Jeffersons, Sanford and Son. That's my old sitcoms. Married with Children, yeah. Oh, you grew up on Lassie. Oh, my God. Yep. Jameson, yeah, Ally McBeal, right? That's how long ago. Jake, I can't imagine how expensive it is down there now. I mean, we're not that bad here. I'm trying to think. When I was on vacation, I wasn't paying attention. Actually, to be honest with you, when I went to the grocery store, because my parents live in Melbourne, when I went to the grocery store in Melbourne, the Walmart prices in Melbourne were more expensive than like the regular grocery store here in Maryland. I was shocked. I mean, the stuff was everything was like $1 or more, 50 cents to $1 or more. I appreciate that, Matthew. Appreciate that, bud. Yeah, I wish we could have gone, right? So Anthony says, Jaws, I don't know where these predictions are coming from, saying that Edmonton's going to sweep Florida. Is there still disrespect for our Panthers, even though we won the Stanley Cup last year? I believe 2 things are at play. You can't deny the history of what Gretzky did and what Crosby did. You can't deny that they lost, came back, and won. So there's that. And I think the other thing is during these finals, the Panthers will break the record for most games played ever by any NHL team in 3 seasons. So I think the assumption here is that between Edmonton's motivation to get McDavid his cup and the Panthers could possibly run out of gas or just start running low on gas, I think that's the assumption. And in some ways, I don't necessarily disagree with all of that. Some of it anyway. But that's why I think Bobrovsky's going to be the difference. I think he's going to be the difference. If you think about, let's just say I trust Bobrovsky in an elimination scenario. We'll put it that way. F58, yeah, the lightning off the beach. Yeah. I would have loved it, but obviously that last year was no way I could go because with Fluffy. This year, they got to rain money on the house. They'd have to, you know what I mean? Or I'd have to get approved for another credit card. I ain't gonna lie. If Capital One wants to approve me for another credit card, we might show up. What's it going to mean? $1,200 a month in payments versus $1,300 a month. You know what I mean? Archie Bunker. Yeah, that's another one. Oh, Alpha's on Twitch. Oh my God. Jeez. That's wild. Bolar says, my dad still claims Three Stooges is peak entertainment. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Matthew, I would hate it there. Maybe at this point. Super crowded and expensive. The crowded part is what, yeah. You know, I like my peace and quiet. You know what I mean? Simon. So for me, I grew up on the original Star Trek and Next Generation. After that, I kind of stopped watching. I just didn't have the time. You know what I mean? Life took over. So I can't really comment on a bunch of the other ones. What was that one show? Not Battlestar Galactica. Was it Sequest? Well, no. What was the show with Roy Scheider from Jaws? What was that show? Was that Sequest? It was like they were in a submarine, or it was something having to do with the water. I only seen it a couple times. All in the Family was crazy. The things that they would say on that show that you could never say anymore. Oh my God, right? Meathead, yeah. Bowler says people are Florida fatigued in the Sunshine State has made the final 6 years in a row. Yeah. Simon, yeah, I'm going to have a little video up with Leia in the water. It's going to be a work in progress. It didn't really go all that well, unfortunately. But Sonia wasn't crazy about the water the first couple times either. So that's going to be a work in progress. Matthew, well, he says stay away from the credit cards. Well, that's what's run this channel for 2 years in a row, unfortunately. That's what's run the channel, Matthew, for the last couple of years. So it's getting better now, obviously. But, you know, when you decide to do YouTube, you take a hit there a little bit. You know what I mean? Great White says, I think Bob is the new Vasilevsky. My thoughts. His career arc is a little bit different, like I talked about in today's video. And I think Vasilevsky's gotten worn out. I think he's gotten worn out where Bob is improving with age somehow. I don't know if Vasilevsky's, and this is not, I'm not being critical. I don't know if Vasilevsky's work ethic is the same. But then again, Bobrovsky didn't have all those playoff runs in his youth. So, I don't know. Right now, in terms of if there's one goalie that I would want to trust with shutting a team down, then yeah, I would trust Bobrovsky the same way I trusted Vasilevsky back in the day. So it was Sequest. Oh, my God, Buck Rogers. Jeez. Whoa. All right. So yeah, it was Sequest with the dolphin guy and with the guy with the gills, yeah. Gilmore Girls. Oh no, Boulevard. I'm sorry. You should be ashamed, actually. Ryan says I'd rather buy my Dolphin tickets than the Stanley Cup Finals. Yeah, Matthew. No, I get it. I get it, man. Yeah, Boulevard. Yeah, they had different arcs a little bit. Yeah. Right? Yeah, Bob's contract. We were all upset about Bob's contract, and then not so much. Yeah, even Hasek. Was it Hasek or was it Brodeur? One of the guys we were looking at, let me check this out. One of the guys that we were looking at, I think it was Brodeur. Like, he would play 75 games or more. Yeah, so Brodeur, when he was in his prime, this is games started. 75, 64, 69, 70, 72, 72, 73, 73, 75, 73, 78, and 77. The dude literally started 78 games in 2006 and 7. Had a 2.18 and a 9.22. And then the next year started 77 games with a 2.17 and a 9.20. And then he must have got hurt. And then he came back the year after that because the next year he only had 30 games. He must have got hurt. And he came back again with 76 games. And then they finally must have found him a backup in 2010 and 11, because then it went 54, 59, then 29, 39. And then he had the 1 year where he went to the Blues and he started 5 games. Brodeur was insane in terms of the number of games. What about Hasek? Let's look at that for a second. Oh. I wonder if he played the same number type of games. Let's see. They don't. Here we go. No, nowhere near the same number of games. So 58, 41, 59, 67. He had 72 to 1 year, then 64. Then he must have got hurt at 35, and then 67, 65. So he played a lot. But Brodeur, 1 year, Brodeur damn near played all but before the games started, all but 4 of the games. Coot says this series might hinge on just how much damage our second line can do while Barkov is busy with McDavid, and Maurice might even match up the third line against their second line when Draisaitl is on. Yeah, and a big part of that's going to come with as long as we can handle Corey Perry. Because if we handle Perry, then you might see Knoblauch move Draisaitl up. And if that happens, the Panthers are going to have to switch off again. That's a completely different situation than trying to handle McDavid and Perry. So even though Hyman hurts them and he's out, it does give Edmonton some flexibility there that if they put Perry with McDavid and we shut them down, they can flip and put Draisaitl with McDavid, move Perry down, and that could cause us to have to change what we're doing. Jake says Brodeur could play that many games because he faced so little shots. Yeah, that's a good point. Imagine a dude today playing 78 games, 77 games. Like, we think the guy's getting overused at 58 now, right? What's my opinion of Shesterkin, Ted? I think if he wants to win a cup, he's not getting any younger, right? Is that my imagination? Or is he close to 30? Igor Shesterkin, age. Oh, come on. He's 29, yeah. So, I don't know. He seems like a prime candidate to get traded if he wants to win a cup at some point. So I don't think the Rangers are close. Hopefully Montreal doesn't get any ideas. We don't need Montreal getting a guy like that. Got to watch out for Kane messing with Chucky too. Yeah, we got to keep Kachuk healthy for sure. Molly says, do all groin injuries require surgery? Some say Kachuk will have to have offseason. I would assume that that's the truth, that he's going to need surgery in the offseason. Not all groin injuries require it. I know Bennett healed one a few years ago. But whatever he did, obviously, to be out for 2 months and to not come back 100%, he couldn't skate. You know what I mean? He couldn't do conditioning and whatnot. So whatever he's doing to keep himself okay, we don't know what kind of pain he's playing through, right? But I would assume that he's going to need surgery in the offseason. And like we've talked about it here, at least I've said it, let him have the surgery and just put him on LTIR for the whole season. Let him get some rest. We can use his cap hit, right? And then I'm sure the league, the fans around the league will be just fine when he comes back for game one in the playoffs next year. I'm sure nobody will have a problem with that. Yeah. Oh, Patel, so is Capo the backup for the Panthers next year? I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know how far off Cooper Black is. Kate says, yeah, same thing with Saros. Get the heck out of Nashville. Yeah. Jake, Grant Fuhrer played 79 games in a season in 96. Damn. Like, did they just have the goalie coach play as the backup for the couple of games that he was out? That's crazy. 76 of those games were consecutive. Holy shit. Man. Patel, yeah, I know. Kakinen. That's who we traded Drieger for, right? That's that we swapped. Is it Cooper Black that's doing so well for the Checkers? Does anybody know that? I'm sure somebody does. Is it Cooper Black in net for the Checkers on their run currently? Glenn says when Hasek was hurt, he refused payment from Detroit. Wow. Real says bring back the Lion King. That's actually a very much possibility. Teacher said, anyone here McDavid left to practice early, possible due to an injury? Well, that can't be. I mean, maybe it's just precautionary. I want to win the cup. But I don't want to win the cup because McDavid's hurt. No. I don't want to hear that. You guys only won because McDavid got hurt. No. He needs to be okay. That's a good name. Jake says it would be cool to see Trevor Kidd come back and bang the drum. Yeah. Molly says that's so funny because when Martian was traded, your first thoughts were jinx or sabotage. He's going to stay, man. We got to find a way for him to stay. Yeah, to shooting up the rats. Dietrich, yeah, precautionary. Okay, good. Can't have that. Colby says tomorrow's going to feel like Christmas morning. Yeah, it's going to feel better. I didn't have to buy anything. Jake says, I don't care how we win the cup. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I don't want to hope for anybody to get hurt. Let's put it that way. Oh, it's so Kako is playing. Oh, dang it. I thought maybe it would be Cooper Black getting himself some experience. Well, no wonder they're playing well. They've got an NHL goalie in the pipes. Dang it. Yeah, exactly, Ted. Forsling, stop passing the puck to the middle of the ice, please. Colby says, hopefully we have a Favre Rodgers situation where we go from Bob to an elite young goalie. Yeah, which is why I was asking about Cooper Black. So that's interesting that, Oh, well. Occam says Ekholm will be a good target for the Panthers next year. It's going to be, whenever this series is over, we're not going to have much time in between, right? And trying to sort through what we're going to do. If because anybody that we lose, we'll have the money to replace, right? Like we have the money to pay Bennett 8. So if we lose them, there's money. We have the money to pay Bennett or Ekblad, not a ton, but 5. So we're going to have money if we lose guys. It's just really going to be interesting to see what Zito's strategy is going to be with all of this. On Dangle Show, someone picked Marchand for Conn Smythe. Well, anyone experienced fine fluffy withdrawal? I mean, we spend every night with the guy for 3 weeks. It's weird not having the games at night. It's been weird. We're going to try to. I would have done a couple of things, but Kyle needed the time off. Kyle needed this few days off because he's calling the games, and we did all. I mean, during the second round, we were doing 2-3 games a night, and then we did every conference game, and then we're all in a row. So Kyle needed the few days off more than anything else. But once hockey's over, we're going to immediately jump to the football classic streams. I'll have some streams over on the men's channel, but women are allowed over there. The channel is for men and women that like men. I'll put it that way. Colby says, what comes first, Dolphins winning a Super Bowl or Canucks winning a cup? I don't have an answer. Like my personal bias against the Dolphins, I would say probably the Dolphins winning a Super Bowl. I would say there's more of a chance that the Dolphins were to win a Super Bowl. It's just less work to win a Super Bowl, right? You got to win 3 games and get to the Super Bowl. You got to win 4 games max. Sometimes you only need to win 3. With hockey, you could win 3 games and get eliminated in the first round. I think it's just way harder to win a cup than it is to win a Super Bowl. Right? Colby says, if Bob can sport a 9-10 or above against a team like the Oilers, he deserves the Conn Smythe. Yeah. I think when Florida wins, it will be because Bob's Conn Smythe. Molly, he's gotten really good. He's gotten really good. You know, I tried to encourage him to do it more, but you know, it's a lot. It's a lot on him. We need to set things up so I can run the chat a little bit more for him, so he can call the games a little bit. But each year he's gotten really good. I don't know how he remembers everybody's names. I don't know how he does it. I can't even see their numbers half the time, and he just remembers their names off the bat. RBJ, yeah, I've been. Well, yeah, when I lived in South Florida, I used to go all the time. I grew up in Miami, so like the first few years of the team, and you know, I went to one of the Eastern Conference Finals games. So, no, yeah, and I've only been to the new arena a few times because obviously I don't live down there. Bulwer says Marchand winning a cup with Florida will probably be what makes Steve Dangle walk on a plane and go to Nassau and scream right off the plane. Yeah. No doubt. Rick, the problem is Dolphins are the best at finding their way through mediocrity, usually through scandals. No doubt, man. Felicia says this is going 100%. I disagree, but I don't disagree. You know what I mean? DJ says, I'll be at the watch party at Amateur on Wednesday, listening here too. Yep. Colby says we're going to get a 3 overtime game in this series. There hasn't been. I mean, there was no overtime games in the conference finals at all. You know? Can't remember. I mean, usually you get the comparison between what Panthers had to do, right? Because we had 2 overtime games against Carolina the first time we went to the Cup, and then we had the 2 overtime games against the Rangers, or were there 3? I know we lost 2. So were there at least 2, if not 3 overtimes last year against the Rangers. Because I know that's when I panicked after game 3 because we lost 2 overtime games in a row. I thought we were toast. So yeah, there's just been a lack of drama in these playoffs for sure. Colby? Yeah, Lil J. I thought it was 3, right? Because we won one of them. Yeah, 3 overtime games with the Rangers. Yeah. So, you might take a look at it and say, I mean, we're getting better at extending leads in playoff games and answering back, like this last one with Carolina where they, tied the game up and we said, no, we're not doing this overtime thing. And we won it in regulation. Gator, I agree, man. McDavid's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy to beat. Yep. Boulevard says, hot take, the Bills are more likely to three-peat than the Dolphins winning a playoff game with this roster. Oh, not with this roster. Yeah, not with this roster. No. That's for damn sure. Colby says, so 4 by the time the Panthers got to last year's finals and won this year. Yeah, we're due. It's probably going to happen, Colby, because if either one of these teams is down by a goal going into later the third period, we both have guys that can step up and take a play over, right? Gators, did I ever listen to Rhythm 98 back in the day? No. I was a Y100 type of guy. Y100, what was it? Kiss 103. They were heavy on the rock. Y100 was like rock pop. There was, I think, 97 GTR. That was a pretty good station, if I remember. These are, 50 years ago. Holy crap. Thank you, Great White. Thank you, bud. Joy, the station that the Cup will be on. I was just looking up that. That's a good question. Power 96. Yeah. Let's look this up. Let's see. Stanley Cup final schedule. So TV and streaming. So it's on Max, Sling, TNT, and then obviously YouTube TV if you have it. Yeah. Thank you again, Great White. Thank you, bud. So if you're needing to watch the games, they're all on Max or TNT or Sling. And I believe that's going to be all of them should be the same. So everybody's streaming these days, right? Colby says, make sure you take some anxiety pills or something, Eric. Game 4 will be the most nerve-wracking game you've ever seen. One way or another, right? Oh, Colby says we're going to see Vanacek game 3 after Bob gives up 4 first-period goals. Damn, Colby. Dietrich, right? Crazy how many songs, 2,000 songs are considered classic rock. It's weird, man. Music is weird. Generational stuff is weird. Like, when I grew up, the old guys, by the time I was in my teens, the Stones had been around for forever. You know what I mean? But they were still popular. You don't get the same type of situations now. Yeah, no, Colby's good. Wait, I think it would take more than 4 first period goals for us to see Vanacek. To be honest. Oh, man. Yeah, we need to do genre ancient rock, 60 to 90s, right? The 80s was still the best. The 80s was still the best. I don't care what anybody says. The variety of music that you could turn on Y100, and you would hear, and I'm not saying I would want to hear all of this, but you would hear Prince, Quiet Riot, Hall & Oates, AC/DC, and then finish it up with like Lionel Richie or Olivia Newton-John. Like the scope of music that you would just you would just turn on the radio, and if you wanted to hear only rock or only pop or only anything, it would good luck finding a station, because it was just all over. Yeah, Madonna. Yeah, Madonna too, right? Yeah. Yacht Rock is awesome the older you get, right? Gator says Y100 kind of sucked. It did and it didn't. It did and it didn't. Like if you were on a long drive, it was good because of the variety. But if you wanted to hear just rock or even alternative or anything like that, then it wasn't great. But like if you were driving and just needed entertainment, of course, if I was driving, I was listening to talk radio anyway. You know, if I was driving, I'd end up either listening to Neil, Rick and Suds, Phil Henry. Simon says, maybe your son is very good because he has a vague memory, super good memory, so that's why he can call it. Yeah, no, he's got a photographic memory. Everything he ever read, everything he's done, it's up there. It really is. Did I like Eddie Money? Eddie Money was okay. He was all right. I never saw him in concert. I don't know what the stations are down there like now. Colby says, Verhaeghe will win the cup in Sunrise in 2 overtime, 6-5. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. Molly says, a Y100 DJ locked himself in a booth one night and played Kung Fu Fighting repeatedly for over an hour. Oh, my God. I used to go to the Wingdings down there back when they were at Young Circle. I don't know where they have them anymore, but I remember Marino would get up at the Wingding every year and he'd give us this whole speech about how this was the year we were going to beat Buffalo in the playoffs. And then it never happened. Never happened. Steely Dan, boy, that was Steely Dan was what, Love 94, Rick? Remember Love 94? Remember Love 94 when you were like 12 and you had to go somewhere with your parents and you'd be stuck in the back seat listening to Love 94? Come on, who remembers? And I do remember Two Live Crew, Gator, absolutely. Who had to suffer through Love 94 in the back seat? Was it just me? Was it just me? Rick. Yep. Love 94. Oh, my God. Oh, you go out to dinner with your parents and you're just stuck. You're just stuck with it. Hot 105, yeah. So, Colby, what 60s, 70s? Very typical stuff. You know, The Who, Stones. What was the other one? Grateful Dead. True, yeah, 94.7. Yep. They don't still have it, do they? DJ Laz. Oh, that was what, 90? There was the bass music station right after 94. There was like a bass and house music station right after 94 on the dial. I forget what it was. Oh, Great White. Yeah, Love Train. Yep. Yes, sir. It might have been 95.3. No, Power 96. Yeah. Was that the one? I think that's the one. I think that's the one. DJ Laz, boat got stolen. Yeah, Power 96. You would, if you were going out on a Friday night and you needed to get ready for the club, it was Power 96. It was all house music. It was all Miami stuff. You get sick of it after about an hour. Lazaro Mendez. Oh my God, right? Phil Jones, Power 96. God, we got old. Yeah, 96X, Rick. That's the 96X. Yeah. 96X for every other song is Pat Benatar. Anthony says, Jaws, I think the disrespect is also coming from that. Even in national sports media, American can't stand. Right. That media, American can't stand that don't stay. Talk to Tex got you, Anthony. I'm trying to make out what you said, but I think Talk to Tex got you a little bit. Gator says, Miami music was great. Yeah, it was good to roller skate to. Hard to dance. Hard to dance to, but good to skate to. There was what was that group? The Point of No Return. What was that woman's name? She had all sorts of hits down there. Come go with me to the point of no return. I can't remember the woman, but she had like all sorts. Like that song was like every other song on the radio. Yeah, WSHE 103.5. Yep. I see. They can't stand that the Panthers won the cup. I got what you're saying. And there's no doubt that's part of it, Anthony, for sure. Expose. Oh my God, yeah. And Sheila E. Geez. Yeah, expose. Yep. I have a core memory. I have a core memory of being in, I worked for a pizza restaurant, and the guy that would bring me home had a brand new Camaro, and it was Halloween. And he decided on the way home, we went to the Kmart parking lot, the Kmart that used to be there, 199th and 441. It used to be a Kmart, and it was Halloween, and it was raining. And I have this core memory where he was doing donuts and figure eights and spin outs with me in the front seat in this brand new Camaro while it's raining on Halloween. And that's the song that was playing was the expose to the point of no return. Yep. I mean, the car we were peeling out and spinning. I never wanted to get in that car again, ever. Sonny Fox in the morning. Sonny Fox in the morning. I don't know if I can do the voice like that, but if you ever know what I'm talking about, Sonny Fox was a hell of a DJ back in the day. Yeah, no, Sheila, he wasn't from Miami, but they would play that style of music. Yeah, we've gotten way off topic. Do people still say supermarkets? I don't know. Paul Castronova was your morning DJ. Wolfman Jack, that's who I'm thinking of. Yeah. Thank you, Craig. That's who I'm thinking of. That's who I'm thinking of. Wolfman Jack. Yeah. And then he'd play some song by the Platters, right? It'd be like this really rough, gruff voice. And then he'd play some song that was not rough and tough. Anthony says, Jaws, remember Dandy Bear? Dandy Bear, Chuck E. Cheese, yeah. I remember Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah, I don't think we ever had I've taken my kids to birthday parties at Chuck E. Cheese. Wolfman Jack, oh my God, yeah. He must have always been stoned, Craig. He must have always been stoned. So, all right, I got to roll. I got to roll. Thank you all very, very much for all the super chats. Love you all. Cannot say thank you enough. Holy crap. So, I put the video out. You guys saw. If you didn't check the video out that I put out earlier, check that out. That was 4 hours of work, believe it or not. Believe it or not, the good thing about that was that it didn't get copyrighted. Jake says, does anyone remember the league was threatening to fine the Panthers when we would put Worrell, Loss, and Simpson on the ice at the end of games and there would be people? No. I remember something like that, but I didn't realize. I don't remember. That one I don't remember, man. That one I don't remember. So, Anthony, you're talking about Lundell, and with Bennett leaves. Yeah, if Bennett leaves, Lundell will move to the second line for sure. Yeah. All right, everybody. Appreciate all the support. And enjoy your last night off. Enjoy your last night off for a long time. Enjoy it. I'm talking to myself. Everybody enjoy it. Yep, good times. Exactly, Jake. All right, everybody. We'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow at noon. Oh, for the members, there's a 50-50 chance I go fishing this afternoon, so I'll record that. So hopefully that works out for everybody. All right. We'll see you then.